Do you like the Spanish like? Gustar? I bet you said no. Let me show you how to use it, and I guarantee you, you will change your mind about it. Hello, and welcome to another Spanish lesson with me, Eva. Today I will show you how to use the Spanish verb gustar. Translating it into English is easy. It simply means to like someone or something, okay? However, the problem is that when we want to use it in Spanish, we use this like in English as our starting point. And this is where things go wrong, okay? So from the get-go, from the very first moment, you are tempted to say I like, or she likes, or we like. In Spanish, you need to replace like with a different verb, okay? Different verb. Let's see. It has to be a verb that has the same, that adopts the same view or the same angle, that has the same optics as the Spanish verb gustar. And let me show you how the optics is different with like and with gustar. When you say, I like this book, okay? I'll write it here. I like this book, okay? So we have, I'm the subject of the sentence, okay? I'm the protagonist, okay? It's all about me and what I like or not like, okay? So I like this book, okay? We have the subject, like is the verb, and what is it that I like? This book, object, okay? This book is the object of my liking, of my feelings, okay? But the feelings come from me, okay? We don't give, in this case, looking at it this way, we don't really give this book any credit, okay? We don't imply that I like this book because of this book, because it's good, it was written well, it was funny, it kept me from sleeping at night because I wouldn't put it down and I just kept reading it. So when we say it like this, it's all about me. It's all about me and what I like and how I feel, okay? But the book doesn't really get much credit at all, okay? In Spanish, the verb gustar turns things upside down, okay? And the subject of the sentence is the book, okay? So they will say, this book does something to me, okay? Now, we can't say like here because we are changing the relationship. Now it's the book liking me. That is not what we want to say. And that's why I said earlier that you need to forget about the verb like, even though that's what gustar means. And you have to imagine or use a different verb. For example, fascinates. No, we could say this book fascinates me, okay? We're still talking about, the context is still the same, okay? However, the protagonist now is this book. The subject of the sentence is the book, okay? This is the origins of my fascination, okay? I'm fascinated. Why? Because this book fascinates me. This book provoked this feeling in me, okay? So here we have the subject followed by the verb, and then I'm simply the object, okay? The fascination with this book simply lands on me, okay? I'm at the receiving end, okay? It starts with the book. It's all because of the book and how well it was written that I feel this fascination, okay? So I want to give this book its credit, okay? Where credit is due. This book fascinates me, okay? It's all the book's doing, okay? Again, you need to use a different verb, not like fascinates me, amazes me, intrigues me, I don't know, surprises me, shocks me, okay? It has to be one of those verbs where we give the origin of that feeling, of that surprise or shock or amazement or fascination. We give credit to the source, the origin, no? And in this case, it's the book, okay? So we have this book fascinates me, okay? And this is the optics or the mindset, the angle that you have to adopt when you use the verb gustar, okay? It's not how you feel, it's how this person or this thing makes you feel, okay? So the protagonist with gustar is the person or an object that makes you feel certain way, okay? That makes you gustar, okay? So before I give you a Spanish sentence, just a warning, and this will happen a lot. You will notice this as you learn Spanish, that in Spanish, a lot of the times they do things, let's say, backwards, okay? They do them in the opposite direction, whereas in English, we had the sentence starting with the subject followed by the verb and then an object. Very often, and this is one of those cases, in Spanish they will have the object and then the verb and then the subject, okay? And gustar is one of those examples, one of those situations where they will say it in the opposite direction, okay? So they will say this same sentence will be me gusta este libro, okay? Just because I'm at the beginning of the sentence, like I was here, doesn't mean that I've now become the subject of the sentence. No, I am still the object, okay? I'm still at the receiving end, okay? The subject continues to be this book, okay? And this verb gusta the form of this verb gustar is determined by the subject, okay? So if the subject is first person singular, the verb gustar will be in the first person singular. If here we have third person plural, here we will have gustar in the third person plural, okay? So again, just because I'm at the beginning of the sentence, I'm not the subject, I'm not the center, I'm not the protagonist in this sentence. The protagonist is still this book, okay? So we've just said the same thing, we've translated this sentence, but we've turned it upside down, and we started with the object, me, followed by the verb, gusta, and then the subject, este libro. But it's still the subject and the verb here that go hand in hand, okay? Let's say I'm fascinated or amazed or whatever by, let's have something in plural. Let's say I like, what can I like? Something in plural. Let's say I like Spanish songs, okay? Or Spanish films. I like Spanish films. Spanish films is plural, okay? So it will be me again, me, but now Spanish films is third person plural. So we have gustan pelis, I'll just use the abbreviation instead of películas, pelis españolas. Okay? Pelis o películas españolas. Again, the subject are Spanish films. Okay? This is the subject. If I were to replace this with a pronoun, I would say they, or I like them in English. It would be I like them, or I like Spanish films. Okay? So subject, if we look it up on the grid, is here. They. Okay? We have we, you, they. I, you, he, she, if it's people we are talking about, or it, if it's an object or an inanimate thing. Okay? So, películas españolas are they. No? They fascinate me. They amaze me. They surprise me. Every time I see one, they surprise me. Okay? So, they is third person plural, which means that gustar will also be third person plural. So the conjugation will be gusto, gustas, gusta. This is all in present tense, okay? I don't want to complicate it and give you examples in other tenses. So just conjugating gustar in present, we have gusto, gustas, gusta, gustamos, gustáis, and gustan. Okay? And as I said earlier, the subject and the verb always go hand in hand. They always have to match. So the Spanish films, they amaze me. They is here, and that's why we have gustan. Okay? I gave you this one in English just so you can understand it better. Of course, this would be different in Spanish. We would have yo, tú, él, ella, nosotros, vosotros, ellos. Okay? Or in feminine, nosotras, vosotras, ellas. Okay? But just so that you understand, they amaze me, they fascinate me, they intrigue me. So they is third person plural, and we use the verb gustar in the third person plural. Okay? The subject determines the form of the verb. Okay? And then if I'm at the receiving end, we say me, but maybe you like Spanish films, in which case we would say te gustan películas españolas. Maybe she likes Spanish films. Now it's not me, it's not te, it's le. Okay? So there's another grid here for the object. Me, te, le, nos, os, les. Okay? So if I'm at the receiving end, if I'm being fascinated or amazed or intrigued by these films, then we will say me gustan películas españolas. If you're the one that's amazed by these films, then we say te gustan películas españolas. If it's him, le gustan películas españolas. If we are all impressed by the Spanish cinematography, then we will say we all like Spanish films. We will say nos gustan. If you guys are big fans of Spanish films, then I will say os gustan. You guys like Spanish films. And if it's them, the group there, I don't know, the critics, the film critics really like Spanish films, then we're talking about them, and we will say they like Spanish films, or in Spanish, les gustan películas españolas. Okay? So be careful. The verb gustar is not about you. Okay? You are not the subject of the sentence when it comes to gustar. Okay? Unless I say I like you. Then you are the source of my admiration. No? And then in Spanish, with the verb gustar, you would be the subject. No? And I would say me gustas. Okay? We could say tú, no? But gustas we already know. Gustas is already here, so we don't have to say you again in Spanish. I've said this many times before, but I'll just mention it one more time, because the Spanish verb changes 6 times. We know that this is first person, second person, third person plural, first person, second and third person. Sorry, here it was singular and here plural, okay? So the moment I say me gustas, I know that that's tú, okay? There's nothing wrong with saying me gustas tú. It's like we need to highlight it and sort of, yeah, that it's you that I like, no? But just saying me gustas, we are already saying I like you, okay? And in this case, you are the subject of the sentence. You are the source of my admiration, okay? And because you are the subject, this gustas has to match you, okay? Not me. I'm at the receiving end, but I'm not the protagonist, so to speak, okay? So this is really the mindset that you need to have when you are using the verb gustar, okay? It's not about you and how you feel, it's where these feelings come from. Who provokes these feelings in you, okay? You need to give credit to that person or that thing or that place or that moment, no? Whatever it is that provoked these feelings in you, that's what the sentence is about, okay? That's the subject of your Spanish sentence, and then gustar, the verb gustar will have to match that subject, okay? Not you. You are an afterthought in all of this, no? But the sentence, the Spanish sentence, when you use gustar, is about the subject or the origin of those feelings that you are experiencing, okay? Good. Okay, so as you saw, we are dealing with 3 grids. One for the subject, one for the verb, and one for the object, okay? And these two, the subject and the verb, they need to match, okay? If this is the subject, this is the verb that you are using, the form that you will use. If this is the subject, you will use this form. If this is the subject, you are going to use this form, okay? So these two need to match, and then this, it depends who is being impressed by this subject, who is being amazed, who is being fascinated. Is it me? Then it's me. Is it you? Then it's te. Is it him or her? Then le. Is it all of us? Nos, all of you, os, and all of them, les. Okay? Good. Okay. So this is how the verb gustar works in Spanish. And maybe just to give you a couple more examples where you will see how the subject and the verb match, and then the object can be anything really. We don't need to. Okay, so for example, they like paella. No, they like paella. Again, it's not about them, it's about the paella, and the paella, the dish, is the subject in the Spanish sentence. Paella is here, it. We could easily say they like it. If we already know that we are talking about paella, rather than repeating paella, 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 we might say, oh yeah, they like it. My kids, they like it a lot, okay? So, because paella is it, we are in the third person singular, so paella will go with gusta, okay? And who is it that likes it? My kids, they, okay? Ellos. So I will say, les gusta paella, okay? Paella is it. We have to use gusta with it. And who is it that's fascinated or impressed or intrigued by this paella? Them, my kids. Les gusta paella. Okay? These two match, and this one is whoever is at the receiving end. I could say, if I'm the one that likes paella, I simply change les and put me and say me gusta paella. Now I'm the one liking paella, okay? But gusta doesn't change. Gusta doesn't depend on the object. Gusta depends on the subject, and paella is still the subject here in this sentence, okay? Or I might say, oh, in our family we all like paella. No, now it's we, and I say nos gusta paella. But again, gusta and paella, they are a tandem. They work together and they don't change. Okay, what else do my kids like? Let's say they like video games, okay? Just because I want to use plural now, just to give a different example. So video games, in other words, they, no? They really like them. So I will say les, but now, because it's them, the video games, I have to use gustan. Les gustan videojuegos. This is U. Les gustan videojuegos. Okay? So they like video games. The subject, the origin is in the video games. That's why it needs to match. Gustan video games or videojuegos, and it's them that are fond of the video games. Okay, let's see. I might ask you, do you like my lessons? Do you like my lessons? Let's write a question. ¿Te gustan mis clases? Okay, again, mis clases are the subject. Okay, they. Gustan, the verb that matches the subject. And I'm asking you, do you like my lessons? Okay, and if you do, why don't you like them below? Okay, another one. We like speaking Spanish, for example. No? Nos gusta hablar español. Okay? It, this thing, it, again, we are here, we have to use gusta, and who likes speaking Spanish? We do. So it's nos. Nos gusta hablar español. Okay? This act of speaking Spanish is something that we like, something that we enjoy. Okay? Good. Okay. I will have another lesson because there is something else I want to explain about the verb gustar, but I don't want to confuse you too much. At the moment, just remember, when you want to say that someone likes something, forget about the verb like. Use a different one. Okay? Fascinates, amazes, surprises, intrigues. These verbs, okay? Use a different one in your head just to sort of put yourself in the right frame of mind, just to acquire the right mindset, okay? And then the subject will no longer be you liking something. It will be this other thing that makes you like it, okay? So change your mindset, start at the other end, and then work backwards. Instead of saying I like pizza, you have to say instead of saying again, it's not I like pizza. Pizza amazes me. Every time I order pizza, it amazes me. So instead of saying pizza amazes me, in Spanish you will say me amaze pizza. Me amazes pizza. Okay? Good. Me amazes pizza. The other way around, okay? Backwards, in the opposite direction, okay? Again, this is all for today. I hope it wasn't too complicated. You need to practice it by only changing one thing, okay? So you have three building blocks here: the object, the verb, and the subject, okay? Don't change all of them at the same time. Keep these two that go hand in hand anyway. Keep these two unchanged and just change me. Instead of saying that you like Spanish or I like Spanish films, say you like Spanish films, or they like, or we like, or she likes, okay? So just change this one, but keep this one unchanged, okay? And then keep me, keep gustan, and find another thing here in plural, because otherwise you will mess it up here. Find another thing here in plural and give examples of things that you also like. Me gustan pelis españolas. Me gustan canciones italianas. Me gustan, again, plural, plural, plural. Me gustan, I don't know, abrigos largos, long coats. Well, I guess coats are always long. Long trousers. Me gustan pantalones largos. Okay, so keep it plural, otherwise this you'll have to change this as well. Keep this plural and give examples of other things that you also like. Okay, so again, don't try to change everything. Don't try to work with too many, juggle too many of these building blocks. Just keep one or two unchanged and only change the other one. Okay, one. Okay, take care. Have a break from learning Spanish now, and I'll see you in the next lesson. Bye-bye.